I'm falling in love with my boyfriend and I don't know how to deal with it. I hired a boyfriend for my sister's wedding. Before you judge me, let me explain. I'm 29, chronically single by choice, and a feminist who writes about fighting patriarchy. Love wasn't for women like me, women who owned 3 businesses and believed cats are better than men. But my Puerto Rican family insisted I find a husband and even blurted out threats of disowning me if I didn't find one. It was obvious the deadline was my sister's wedding since all my younger siblings got married before me. Time was running out. I found Matt on TaskRabbit. He had one review that said, hired him to pretend to be my son at a PTA meeting. Absolutely convincing. Perfect. We met at a wine bar downtown to discuss terms. $500 per day plus expenses. He showed up in a nice brown suit, ordered a cocktail without calling it gay, and took notes on his phone while I explained my family tree. Professional and contained. We needed preparation. God forbid he shows up to a Cuban-Puerto Rican wedding without backstory. First outing, coffee shop quiz session. He memorized everything. My PhD thesis topic, my 3 cats' names, how I take my coffee. Second outing, dinner at a steakhouse. We need physical comfort for photos, I explained. He practiced putting his hand on my lower back, the acceptable zones for casual touching. When he helped me with my coat, I reminded him it was strictly professional, and myself. Third outing, salsa lessons. My family would expect dancing. He was terrible at first, stepping on my feet, apologizing profusely, but he kept trying. By the end, we were moving together, his hand firm on my waist, making jokes about his white boy rhythm. I ignored how my pulse quickened. The final step was finding a matching outfit at Target. I expected a quick transaction, him nodding at whatever I picked. Instead, he sat in the dressing room chair, genuinely excited as I twirled trying on dresses. He'd give thoughtful feedback, not just looks good, but that color makes your skin glow. I fell in love with a burgundy dress I couldn't justify buying, but he insisted on paying for everything. Within minutes, he found a charcoal suit with a burgundy tie that matched exactly. At checkout, he insisted on buying matching socks with tiny avocados on them because inside jokes make couples seem real. I pretended the fluttering in my chest was just good acting. The wedding weekend arrived. He played his part flawlessly, remembered my uncle's name, complimented my mom's arroz con gandules, let my grandmother teach him dominoes. He told a story about our first date with details I'd never given him, like how I apparently tried to pay the check 3 times. My family ate it up. I thought it was cute, but then he went completely off script. My dad was sitting alone. Matt walked over, extended his hand to my father, and asked if he could have this dance with his future father-in-law. My dad, this stoic man who expressed love through oil changes and perfectly seasoned ternil, actually teared up. They slow danced while my dad whispered something that made Matt laugh. When my mother cornered Matt about our plans, he said, I'm just trying to be the man she doesn't think she deserves. My sister found me tearing in the bathroom. He's perfect for you, she said. No, I reminded myself. He's just really good at his job. But I was starting to crack. During his best man speech for the groom, Matt went completely rogue. Love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who makes your imperfections feel like features, not bugs. He looked directly at me. My entire family turned to stare. My hands shook. This wasn't the plan. The reception became torture disguised as paradise. He danced with my nephews until they passed out in his arms. He helped my grandmother to her table when her knees got tired, and she kissed his cheek like he was already family. I kept reminding myself this was what I was paying for, but my chest felt weird. When slow songs played, he'd hold me like I was something precious, not a client. His thumb would brush against my hand, and I'd forget how to breathe. I started hiding in the bathroom just to avoid the way he looked at me, like he saw through every wall I'd built. My cousin found me there during the cake cutting, touching up makeup I'd cried off. You know you're allowed to want this, right? She said. He's being paid, I reminded myself. After the wedding ended, we sat in his rental car in the hotel parking lot at 2 a.m. My family had finally released us, but neither of us wanted to leave. He was still holding my heels that I'd kicked off during the last dance. Your dad told me he knew. Your whole family knew. My stomach dropped. How did they find out this was fake? Your dad said he could tell because no real boyfriend would try that hard. He turned to me, and he was right. I don't know if I'm acting anymore. I haven't known since Target. Now I'm sitting in my apartment, still in my bridesmaid dress, while he asks if we can talk about what we actually are.